if somebody wants to buy a home, we recently bought one. I'm not going to say that's the wrong thing to do. Now, there's a reason for that. And I'm going to give you a case study. It's called Iceland. The premier told the central banking system that because they had perpetrated fraud upon the country through their national debt, that made the whole of it bogus, and they told them to eat something and go somewhere, and they ain't paying. Just recently, they forgave all mortgage debt. I want you to think about that carefully. Get ahead of us in terms of the curve, in terms of the same thing can be done here. The national debt goes bye-bye. The other part is that mortgage debt, which is a perpetrated fraud Ponzi scheme against the people, goes bye-bye. The third part of it is that you go from a debt instrument, which is the Federal Reserve notes you got in your pocket, to an equity instrument. Now, this is where you zero out the banking system. It stays that way for a couple of 3-4 days, whatever it takes, in order to take the financial power away from the bad guys and expose them, because they're going to get really fidgety and come out of the office. The other part is that after these bad guys have been taken care of, whether they're arrested or put out of their position or what it might entail, there is a revaluation. This deals with collateral accounts set to give value to countries. That means that your money all of a sudden goes back to normal. Now, my suggestion for this period of time is silver coinage that has silver value. They call it junk silver because it's not pure. But you have an intrinsic value of like 70-80% of the weight of the coin in silver value. So if you got a silver dollar, you're probably talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% of the going price on the exchanges for silver. It's around $30. So take 0.8 times 30 and get rid of the zero, you got $25 in a silver dollar. You can survive on that. All of a sudden, the economy is going to make a shift. Your Federal Reserve notes won't be as valuable as the silver coin if they take those reserve notes at all. And as I understand it, for a period of time, those things are not going to be of any value. Don't throw them away. The revaluation will reinstate them on an equity basis. So it'll still have value. Small investors are not going to be hurt. Small businesses, people that got money in the bank, people that live off of this. During this period of time, the plan states that your lights, your water, etc., will not be turned off. They will be try to be maintained. Now this is, it goes back again. You got to keep the bad guys from chopping down telephone poles and things of that nature. But you're going to have pretty much a pretty normal life. They're not going to interrupt or interfere with it. A lot of people will be able to just go to work and not have to worry about anything. They won't see that much difference. Now, the announcements. This is the part everybody's been wanting to know about. The announcements for all this happen at a particular time. When certain people are in a position to do so, they will take a sweep. They will take all the people out from behind the people you now have in office. The financiers, the people that have been being the document runners and people like that, all of a sudden are going to disappear. After that sweep's made, they make sure that they've got all the records they need to prosecute these people. And then people such as ourselves will be given what's called notification to go into a green light status. That means we notify everybody and their mother-in-law about 24 hours ahead of the time that you get to see Bernanke get led away in handcuffs, or whomever it might be. So you have to understand that there's a lot that goes into this. People who have not understood it or are not aware of what it is, go to our website, freedomreigns.us, has postings and has recordings of these radio broadcasts. A lot of the questions are answered on there. Now, we're working on a Q&A section. I should be done with that today, hopefully. And it categorizes questions. I'm going to have probably 4 or 5 questions that go to the same general area, each one being answered within the body of my answer. So you'll be able to just simply, before you ask the question, you go to that part, read through it, and it should take care of concerns. It should take care of questions. Some of these questions that we've been answering today are repeats. I can tell you that. So, next question.
Okay, what about the chemtrails? Everybody is very concerned about the aluminum, barium, cerium, viruses, molds, and stuff like that. They have 428 cocktails of chemtrails that they spray on us. Why can't we stop them? We know the airport that they're coming from. We know where they're located. Why isn't anybody going in and shutting these planes down?
That's a good question. If everybody knows where they're at, who they are, maybe if somebody went over and took a big knife and flattened their tires, they'd have trouble taking off. I mean, there's a lot of ways to handle this. If we can't get official action, sometimes the people have to take the action. And this has happened in a bunch of different cases where they've got an old movie. It's not a long one, but it talks about a veteran who got together with a bunch of other ones and took possession from the local authorities of ballot boxes proving that these people did not win. Now that sounds to me like an honest, open election when these guys are sitting there and the state police, oh, you got the boxes? Yes, we do, etc. So, it may not be legal to go flatten a tire, but it also might stop a chemtrail. People have to figure out what they need to do in order to make these things cooperate. And I have made an issue of this through my contact chains and other people that they need to address this. This is, I feel, an emergency to me. And so far there's been some action, but not, to me, not close to enough. I'll keep telling them to, do something. And hopefully, at one point or another, you'll start seeing fighter jets escorting these people to the ground or shooting them down or something of this nature. At least I'm hoping so. There's a lady in California who figured out the contracts, who was doing it, and the whole 9 yards. So, and she's filed suit against them, and I don't know of anything coming out of it so far. This is the part where the standing government gets you into court and supposedly can't win by playing by the rules, so they change the rules, kind of thing. This is the kind of corruption that needs to be taken out. So, yeah, I hope that answers that question.
Well, the only problem about going and flatten their tires is that they have a special force, I don't know who it is, that's surrounding these airline camps. And so it would be just impossible for people to go in and even tamper with the airplanes.
Well, I've heard a lot of stories about different things, but we'll see about how impossible it is to get in. Hopefully here in the near future, I'm trying to make a contact with certain people who can get in. So we'll find out what happens.
How about the Federal Reserve that got $16 trillion in bailout money, which was supposed to go to the people and instead went to the banker's pocket? Are they going to have to pay that money back?
Well, recently you probably should have taken note on Divine Cosmos. David Wilcock put out the report of all 12 central banks being leaned. Now, the way that these people had gotten their money was to either steal, leverage, or borrow against using them as collateral. Okay, these are the collateral accounts that I was talking about. They're huge. So any one of them would put everything back in order in, say, our country, as an example. The deal with the lien is that, yes, now the central bank has to pay back all of those funds that they obtained illegally. So basically, the central banking system is getting ready to go bankrupt. Parts of it already have in Europe and other countries. One of them was caught with their hand in the till in China, and they took everybody in the bank to jail and replaced it, realigned it, readjusted it, and it now operates correctly. There's a difference. That central bank does not charge interest. It is a holding bank, just as the state's holding banks would have been had they been able to get those through. That's something I suggested about 2 years ago that was tried in 3 different states and so far has failed. State's holding bank would hold all revenues, to include the Fed. And the bank had seen to it that everything in that state was taken care of. Then they send the crumbs from their table to the Fed, and the Fed didn't like that, so they were stopped. But yeah, the central banking system's got a serious problem. It's more serious, as you can see in Europe right now. You got some 400 and 550 whatever arrests, resignations, and the thing about it is, a resignation don't cover you. They come and get you anyway. You have perpetrated financial crimes against the people. You have violated the public trust. You have, in some cases, killed people, and in some cases, created gross treason. So the charges against these people will vary some. But at least our country has a lot of FEMA camps waiting to be occupied by people like that. So, you know, I hope they enjoy their camping trip. Next question.
Spain just announced that now they're having problems, and they're part of the dark cabal fingers, if you will. And they're saying that they're going to a cashless society. Does that mean that the New World Order has taken over there, or does that mean that they're going to a barter system and then they're going to create an authentic, more constitutional-run monetary system?
Now that's going to be a good one to see, and I would suggest people watch that simply because the what happens there is going to give an idea as to what the adjustments that they're looking for in terms of making things right is going to be, or the manner in which the bad guys hide it. It can be one of the two. So you can add Switzerland, or excuse me, France. Let's see here, France, Germany, let's see, Spain, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, Ireland, and eventually the UK to the list of the people that are going to have financial problems. So you have to understand that the shift is in process. It does take some time in order to accomplish this. This is why I say that people should get ready to not get toilet paper delivered to their local store. That may not happen. They're liable to send food of varying types, but toilet paper may not be on a survival level or consideration. So it might not be a bad idea to stock up on that sort of thing, meds, you know, things that may not be available. The change, you're going to go through several changes, and I'm not sure yet how far they'll go in terms of the individual situations that you're talking about as of yet. That's a thing that's in progress. You should be watched closely to see how it comes out. I think it may come out favorably. If not, it'll be addressed again. It's not,
Right.
they're not going to quit. Okay?
Well, Drake,
All right.
it seems we're going to be going to break here in about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Just a quick question before we go. Is there any benefit to a chemtrail that we are unaware of?
Depends on what's in it. There are chemicals. There are mixes of things that can remedy most of the problems that those things have created. It also can clean the atmosphere and us. We're infested with all kinds of gobbledygook that we should not ever have had. So they can be beneficial if used correctly with the correct ingredients, yes.
Because I think there's something that, yeah, we need to take into consideration.
Okay.
Can you tell us the states really fast before we go?
I sent a list to you just a few moments